Is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon? Yes? No? It turns out it's both of those. It's actually both of those. It's been confirmed now. So yeah, let's talk about how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon and how it's not canon at the same time. If you've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know exactly where I'm going with this and exactly what happens to make it non-canon and canon. So first and foremost, we are going to talk about the latest update from Brad Winderbaum, the man in charge of Marvel Television, who of course works with Kevin Feige. And he said, and I quote, "I think that S.H.I.E.L.D. is a really good show. And there was a long time where some of the best reveals in the show were during the Winter Soldier era where Hydra emerged and you're like, oh my god, I remember that feeling. Even knowing what was happening. Just being a fan going, it's really connected." I think that there is a crazy way, like you said, it does feel like it fits into the multiverse saga in an incredible way. I just want to go down this road with you. You just know I do. But we are just going to take a deep breath for a second. Just know that I love the cast. I love Clark Gregg and I love that show. End quote. Now this was when Brad was asked whether or not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be retconned into the MCU like the rest of the Marvel TV shows that Netflix put out. Now, earlier this year, Clark Gregg was interviewed about a potential return, and he said, you never know. And Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige even leaned into it, talking about the multiverse concept, where both of them said, just because Phil Coulson died here, it doesn't mean he dies in every part of the universe or the multiverse. And what adds more to this whole idea of the multiverse is the recent indexing of the MCU, different universes and timelines. And here's what I'm talking about. So on Earth 1751, this is the Gravitronium-powered Glenn Talbot, who breaks Earth apart. S.H.I.E.L.D. takes a small group of survivors to the Lighthouse Station. Well, what happens here is that right there as Infinity War was happening, they start their multiverse trek. And they officially go to a completely different universe, aka Earth 17516. And then they are brought all the way into a different universe in the past, as you're seeing here. When they go from the future to the past and then to the present to stop everything and fix it, they go into the actual timeline that they were a part of. So they officially jump timelines, and the universe they end up in is no longer the one they were in, but a different one that diverged from them messing with timelines. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon up until they do the timeline jump and jump into the future, and then from there on, they are gone. They are wiped out. They don't exist effectively. They're gone. And everything they do takes place in the multiverse. And then when we see them at the end, here's Mac, and he's doing his own thing. He's now the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're out there in space doing these things. Clark Gregg's Agent Coulson is out there in the Lola, still doing whatever he's doing. That's all happening in a parallel timeline that takes place right there. So they are in a different timeline, but also they are canon because they spun off of it. So there you go.